So if a person has a tendency of where things go wrong or things, and that you notice that, say, when you go traveling, that it often happens that your bags get lost, that, the tickets, different things happen that aren't flowing. What can you do? Well, good question. All questions are good, just so you know. In this way, when you've noticed that, it's with tendencies. I would call that a tendency where a person is attracting certain types of happenings for whatever reason. Now, there's one way you can go through the experience, and when things get triggered alive, i.e., goodbye to your bags and you're there without any toothbrush or underwear, you know, you can then visit with the energetics inside yourself of what's really happening when it seems like the outside details are not working out. So it's to feel, what does that feel like when the outside details are not working out? And you can be proactive in this and just remember those times and also hear what's happening inside, because then you bring those details to this present moment. And you can visit the very details. What did it feel like? What did I feel inside? And you'll be looking for an energy of something heavy, something tight, maybe something, it can be an ache or pain. It can be anything, but it will be some sort of energy inside. So what happens so on the inside, so on the outside. So when we travel, we move from our energetic connection that's known with Mama Earth. So we're on the fly. So there's a freedom to that because it feels different and new, but there's also less groundedness because we're not in a place that our whole system is used to, the energetic connection, the magnetic connection with the earth, where the person is and whatever home means to them. So when we're on the move, that's moving, and it doesn't quite catch up until we land again, and that's what my feeling is what jet lag is. It's a meeting the ground newly, basically, in our magnetic relationship with the earth. So when we're out of that, it can bring other stuff inside. So inside, so on the inside, so on the outside. If it's a turmoil outside, there'll be some sort of turmoil inside. So in the moment when something's happening, you can look to and purposely, consciously judge it. This is, and whatever the details are, you call it a mess, you call it a turmoil, you call it not right, whatever that is, you can call it out there. That's the energy to look for inside. Okay, where's the turmoil energy inside in that moment? So it's relaxing, open. It's not just finding where the energy is, but it's staying present, letting awareness float with that energy while you breathe. So if you have to run for another flight, that's not the time to do this, because the pull to get there, etc., isn't gonna. So that's where it's really tricky to on the fly. But once you're on the plane and you're, then that's a good time then to sit down with, okay, what happened there? Because the trigger, especially when it repeats, will be something that's available to you in your memory, and it's not going to the past. Instead, what you're doing is remembering what happened, and as soon as you do, you're bringing that to the present moment where you are. And your body will respond, maybe not as loudly, but in some similar way. And then you can open to the energy inside and let that speak to you. Find out what it's about. And it can be anything, and it's completely personal. There's no one answer. There only is the truth of what gets displayed inside, and you breathe and you stay with it as long as you can feel energy in some way inside. Stay with it any little bit. Like sometimes people have said, oh, well, that's almost gone, let's carry on to the next, and their mind wants to jump to the next thing. But almost isn't all of it. So you want to go right to the root until it's calm and empty. So That's not like you're going to the root, it's that you're standing by. Awareness is floating with whatever's going on until that energy itself finishes its expression toward you. Well, you just receive it. There'll be all sorts of different information in that energy as it plays out. And I can't say what that is, but it's always an invitation from love when something repeats. So the other part that you can do prior to traveling, when you know you're going to travel, it's very wonderful. In my book right here, right now, Meditations, there's a invitation called Setting Your Field for Support. So it's a meditation, a step-by-step meditation, where you you set your field so that anything that comes in, whether it's somebody with the airline and they're just having a grumpy day, whatever that energy is, it doesn't come in and disturb your grumpy day kind of energy to come with it, or that you won't be so tainted by that, because as that energy comes into your field, you've already set your field to alchemize, to transform the energy so that by the time it comes into your system, into this place of oneness that's been given to you, it's already a supportive energy. So that way you don't need to spend energy trying to protect yourself, because that costs you. Instead, you do this meditation beforehand, it sets your field, and off you go. You can forget about it. The more often a person uses it, maybe on the flight in between, it's a totally nourishing meditation as well. So even if you just want to do it for fun, it's like I say, it's nourishing. It's very, very good for your system, as you being part of existence. But it did come out of myself being a very open, energetically open, empathetic person. I can't close things out. I'm hearing all sorts of energies all the time. So I needed to learn how could I function in the world when I'm hearing things this way. And there's so many more of people like this that can hear all of what's going on, and it becomes harder to figure out where you are and where they are and all that. So this is a great meditation for sort of claiming the space you've been given and then setting the field, so life's a little more easy and enjoyable. And it comes out of me needing to find something, so I created it.